Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much, you all, making big effort to come here. And thank you for participating. I'm very, very thankful and grateful. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you. Before we begin the session, we do about maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes silent meditation, kind of reflecting on really joy and appreciation and graceful. We have the beautiful, wonderful, really life in this planet, and it's truly not just the gracious teacher Buddha said so many times. It's true. We feel very blessed by all the situation, circumstances that we are surrounded by. Even though there's many different things going on, but we're going to highlight our goodness, our things what we really have now. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And then we look to around the world, how many things are going different things. But for us, quite peaceful, nice. If we keep up that qualities, so therefore again, to getting together and gathering here, we're going to reflect joy and appreciation, respect, grateful, and with a good heart, thinking of every living being, what we're going to do is retreat. For 1 week retreat, may that really become one of the great source to bring the good things in the world to every living being. Thinking of those are very fundamental and foundation of the Buddha teaching. From that, then we grow. Then we explore our inner beauties, qualities. So again, of course, we all know, I know too, but applying is important. Apply to strengthen it. So just I'm sitting in front of you that in that way I'm just a reminder to all of us, to you, to myself. So we just do about 4 or 5 minutes silent kind of meditation. Okay. Thank you everyone again for coming, for participating. So thankful. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Now, if you have the booklet which we're going to do here, this Dorje Jamdu, Dorje Jamdu, this red booklet we have, otherwise we're going to do the lineage prayer. Lineage prayer, and maybe there's addition some little bit connected with this Dorje Jamdu, maybe you have some. So I think it has all that. And page 1, so we have that. Otherwise, it's a lineage prayer, and this green booklet, I believe, page 30. Okay. Page 49 in this green booklet, the 7-line prayer, page 49. And if you have this red booklet, Dorje Jamdu, this was with our kind of principal teaching on during this retreat. So if you have, then we are also able to organize a little bit extra kind of clarifications of these. And I believe that you all have this one. This one, and this has no lineage prayer, or just a symbolic kind of only the Dorje Jamdu. So, but now this one we go with this. If you have that, okay. Otherwise, we're going to accept the 7-line prayer. We're going to chant in the English, so you will know, kind of reflect the meaning. And of course, the 7-line prayer when we chant, feel a strong presence of the Gyurme Sambhava. And as Gyurme Sambhava is embodiment of all Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Guru, Deva, Dakini. In the teaching often said that object refuges. All the object refuges that come together one single status as Gyurme Sambhava. And all your connected teachers also come in one single state as Gyurme Sambhava. Gyurme Sambhava is living Buddha right in front of us. And we have beautiful statue or the representative of Gyurme Sambhava. So really feel that right in front of the sky, but not just like statue, but living Buddha, transcendental, versatile rainbow body, as truly came right here in front of us with our power of the devotion and the connection. Feel that. In front of that, full of devotion, the joy and appreciation, with the Bodhisattva, may we become the one of the beautiful individuals that can benefit for all living beings. That started with our families, your friend, not just a sentient beings far away or somewhere. Started from right in front of our, sometimes they call right in front of our nose. Nose. And then extended to everyone. Really wish that we become one of the beautiful persons, and maybe have also meaningful life, meaningful of this precious life, not just a kind of lost it in some way, but really make some tangible, meaningful, we kind of collected and built up. Those intentions so important. Many times we think, although that's so basic and casual, but these basics are so important. Without that basic things, we won't have the strength, the fiber in our practices. So therefore, it's really so important. Feel strong presence of Gyurme with the devotion, and then we chant the 7-line prayer 3 times, repeated mantra of Gyurme. And then also all this retreat, this may it become very beautiful, really meaningful, beneficial, very rewarding retreat, and not kind of forced by the obstacles externally, inwardly emotions kind of become smooth, wishing those things from the heart and the mind, and then do the practice. And then that's really what we follow the footsteps of the old Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, ancient great masters and practitioners. The lineage prayer.
Samanta Vajra, Vajra Sattva, Promada Vajra, Sri Singha, Padmakara, even for kings and subjects, souls of the 100 Terchens and others, the lamas of Pema and eternal lineages, to you I pray.
Pure from the beginning, pervasive nature of the Rupa, which is utterly free
from the confines of delusional conceptions.
To you, one who
directly realize the unchanging ultimate truth. Vajradhara Turdap Lingpa, to you I pray. Learned and pure in the practice of the three trainings, eye of the world, supreme yogi who actualized the profound nature, by the powerful speech, mature fortunate disciples into the core kayas. Honorable Chopa Japso, to you I pray. Inseparable from origin, Padmasambhava, Supreme Lord of the hundreds of Buddha families, to you, Satsang Lingpa, the supreme object of refuge, I pray to grant me the immortal blessings of the Vidyadhara state, so that I may remain inseparable from you. In the past, you were the Vidyadhara Nudin Dorje Sal. In the future, you will be the Buddha Mupataye. Now you are the regent of Padmasambhava, the actual presence of Drokpa and Lotsawa. Jigel Yeshe Dorje, to you I pray. Happy with little, content and rich in jewels of the three trainings, with loving compassion, seeing all beings as parents. Through threefold realization, you made 3 doors, 3 Vajras. Virtuous monk, Pema Sutra, to you I pray. The supreme tradition of the glorious Buddha Padmasambhava, which is the essential, extraordinary view and doctrine of the early translation school, You keep alive and spread by the light of wisdom. Lord of Dharma, great Khenpo, I pray at your lotus feet. In the palace of Dharma, the essence of all the Buddhas of the three times, the one who shows clearly the Dharmakaya of my own mind, I pray to the Honorable Root Guru, glorious Root Teacher, precious one, dwelling on the lotus seat on the crown of my head, hold me with great kindness, bestow the accomplishments of body, speech, and mind.
And then continue next page. Homage to the Tathagata, glory to the Vajra. Om Bedra Sada Samaya, Manabalaya, Bedra Sabate Nova, Hidaredo Nebawa, Sugayo Nebawa, Sugayo Nebawa, Anarato Nebawa, Sarvasiti Nebaya, Savakramato Samet, Sisam Siriam Guru, O Bhagavan, Sarvata Gata, Vendramami Manzam Vendrabhava, Asamaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vendra Sato Tenova, Didadada Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Sisam Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, Om Bhagavan, Savadata Gata Vajra, Vendrabhava, Asamaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manabalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Titadero Mibhava, Sudhukayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Sisam Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, O Bhagavan, Savadata Gata Vendramami Vendravama, Samaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Tishadero Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Sisam Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, O Bhagavan, Savadata Gata Vendramami Vendravama, Asamaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manabalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Titadero Mibhava, Sudhukayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, O Bhagavan, Savadata Gata Vendramami Vendravama, Asamaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Tishadero Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Sisam Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, O Bhagavan, Sarvadata Gata Vendramami Vendravama, Samaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Tishadero Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Sisam Shriyam Guru, Ha, O Bhagavan, Savadata Gata Vajra, Mami Munda Vendravama, Samaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Tishadero Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Sukhayo Mibhava, Anurato Mibhava, Sarvasiti Mibhaya, Sarvakramadu Samniyat, Shriyam Guru, Om Ha, O Bhagavan, Sarvadata Gata Vendramami Vendravama, Samaya Sato, Om Vedra Sata Samaya, Manupalaya, Vedra Sata Tenova, Tishadero Mibhava, Sudhukayo Mibhava,
Anointed with perfumed water, and strewn with flowers, and bamboo in the four continents, ornamented with sun, light bring them July as would a field, they all seek joy in pure land. Yedam Guru Mandala according to the wishes of sentience, their capacities, under the high and low, common and uncommon vehicles, please serve the wheel of Dharma.
Dudjom Rinpoche, Vajrayana, Ani, Mundarin, Dorje, Pema, Dorje, Tata, Jardan, Nyingma Dorje, Ani, Gyurme the Highland, so good, Gosonjum, Romy. Naturally, and away at on the heavy, a Chadalama, Jodi, Dajo, Mayala, Gumbo, the Sang them, Jada, in Juraya, Dorja, and the Jumeling, and Jumdum, and Yara, even Mother, Yala, and the Portisaji, Pema, Joy, and Majorje, Sonijera, no, Haraji, Ganji, Yala, and the on the Saji, Kandangana, Kari Saji, Savalame, Yala, and the but the Savalama, Yala, and the Tokwe, that you drew, the took you drew. Presia don't have them by a give the lame singy, low, loches on the water singy, low, chilanda on the water sing. Landru hot over and yellow, Pranaya Yara and yellow, the Ozoro, Ganda subject, don't go injecting, and all if the kill homer, a gerba cancer. Tender don't be, Julia can be, Samrandova, Tamji, and Darandu, like a hang, lot of them, from the other make. Hagunji Hadana Hajasamba, Tanjigata, Daki, Edo, Satanamuraj and Rochi, Yotomabu, Yavarajila, Sabina Jehadon, Dajana, Tamanam Jen, Simbinam Jet on the Dajan, Hadamanam Jen and the Simbinam Jet on the Dajan. Tabanam Jen, the other, Yorakunja, Tambe, Chuni, Jen, Joba, Akundu, Lamojava, Namra, Joa, Mangarva, Kundu, Jivara, Sanjosum, Johorumbu, Maji, Mana, Ajia, Jiba, Hanyamba, Mebaye, Kone, Kondu, Bevara. Okay, thank you very much everyone again for participating, coming everywhere. Really thank you very much. I'm so thankful and so grateful. Welcome everyone. Thank you. And thank you also for participating on the internet, on the highways of the internet and modern technology. I'm so grateful for over here and welcome everyone. Thank you for your participation and your interest in joy and practice of Dharma. Thank you. I hope I can kind of make some kind of little bit reminder to all of us, even though you already know these things. So thank you everyone for participation. Now we go to the text itself. We had opportunity to prepare this one. This is called Highlight Essential Point of Dorje Jamdi, known as the Treasure of the Merit. That's the I named, but it was helped and supported by the dedicated practitioner, Isaac. His West name is Isaac, and dedicated. I mean, all these booklets is really he helped to arrange, organize these things. I'm so thankful and grateful. Thank you all his willingness. So again, with his assistant and helper, we are able to make this little bit highlight of the thing. This teaching we are going through by the great master Terdat Lungpa. His name is Terdat Lungpa or Rigdzin Gyurme Dorje. He was the one of the great Tertungs and masters in the Nyingma history, or the way the Buddhist historians, who came around 17th century, I think 17th century. 17th century is like 1646 he was born. So I think it's called 17th century, around that time. At the same time of the 5th Dalai Lama. 5th Dalai Lama, they become very good friend and the person, teacher to each other and disciple to each other. So that's it. But this teaching is really very profound. This is known as like aspiration prayers.
Aspiration prayer, but it's very profound and very, very dense of the meanings. I mean, you look this, you read and look that, so you will see. So therefore, the highlight, I think, is really quite good. And I follow the exact teachings of the great Master Papa Rinpoche, and as well as the Mahon Rinpoche, and as well as the one who wrote commentaries on this teaching by very famous master and teacher, disciple of the Papa Rinpoche, as well as the Mahon Rinpoche. I'm sure he met also First Chensin and First Kungpa. Around that time, he was the one of the, his name was Sonam Chundap, Lagla Sonam Chundap. He was one of the great scholars, great practitioners, and down to the earth, a hermitage. He wrote the commentary, which is quite big, known as the Feast of the Vidyadharas. So I also kind of went through that in a way to simplify so that we can have something to go through this. So this is what the teaching. But again, of course, all these teachings come from where? Again, back to our gracious, kindness, compassionate teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni, who taught these teachings. He reached enlightenment at the age 35. Of course, you all know. I'm not going to talk too much. But 35, ever since he got enlightenment, he started turning the wheel of Dharma, giving the teachings. Wheel of Dharma is nothing but our innate nature. But innate nature, our nature, how to reveal. Because why he gives this natural teaching? Because he saw, Buddha saw, all the sentient beings or the living beings are very dilemma, confused, and also distracted, and going so many challenges, ups and downs and all that. Because why? Not connected to the nature. Externally, inwardly, we're not connected to the nature, and we're going somewhere else, looking solution somewhere else. Therefore, Buddha himself said, I'm nothing else except teacher. I showed where the nature is, how we connected, and we connected to our nature externally, particularly inwardly. All the chaotics, problems, and ups and downs, challenges are really solving. Solution is not somewhere else. The really solution is connect to the nature, and particularly inner nature, one's own nature. We connected that. For that reason, Buddha gave variety of teaching. Why he gave variety of teachings? According to the readiness, willingness, and capabilities of the living beings, how they like to connect it. Therefore, Buddha is known as a skillful means and compassionate. Buddha not just showed one technique and said you have to follow if you want to do. No, he showed a variety of the way to connect into the nature, to connect and discover our qualities, inner qualities. Therefore, then Buddha gave the teaching from, or after his enlightenment, age 35, until he entered Mahaparinirvana, age 81. Some masters say 82, some say 80. Whatever, until he entered Mahaparinirvana, he gave the teaching. Variety of the teaching. All is directed to the nature. Discover the innate qualities, externally and internally. So, this great teaching also is completely based upon the non-violence, kindness, compassion, respect and appreciation. You all know, I know that too, we all know kind of roughly. But why we're talking this? Because we're remembering, being grateful, gratitude to these great masters. Not just only this great master, Buddha came 2,600 years ago, who kept this teaching until now, is all the lineage practitioners, with those who have big names, those who maybe don't have big names, but nonetheless, everyone maintained this lineage teaching. Everyone contributed and keep the light. They light themselves with joy, appreciation, kindness, and compassion, respect and appreciation to every living being, non-violence, peace, harmonious, and openness kept and continually until now. So we're going to grateful all of those. This is treasure, the nugget treasure. In the Tibet, on the teaching often said, wish-fulfilling jewels. Jewels that granting, or the gem that granting all the desires. This teaching is like this gem that granting all the wishes. And also not just granting the wish, all the desire and the wishes what we like, but it dispelled all the obstacles. Hindrances. It's not just temporary solutions. It's permanent solution. Completely eliminating the deep root, deep down, uprooted, disregarded, without any trace. That's what the beauty is. Really, this teaching is based because it's based upon completely nature. It's nothing something that we're trying to add aliens to this and try to keep up nature exactly. So that's the one. And then this teaching came to, it's become so powerful, popular practices in India, in all different places, and then it came to Tibet in the 8th century. Before that, 7th century, Buddhism came, but not so strong and popular. All those great kings, the Dharma patterns, the practitioners, kept it strongly that, but very localized. The 8th century, Buddhism become fully expanded, developed, very rooted practices in Tibet, not just rooted, but they practiced and meditated. As the gracious teacher Buddha mentioned, studying, contemplation, meditating, and the practice, that all happened. They actualized the realization and fulfilled the goal, what teaching said, not just reading that and the kind of saying story of the India, say all the masters reach enlightenment, not just saying. Tibetan, those practitioners reach enlightenment within that lifetime because they practiced, meditated full of joy, devotion, determination, courage, and commitment. Not let that ruined by the skepticals, doubt, and hesitations. Really stayed with the teaching and practice as they receive the teaching from great masters such as Pema Sambhava and great master Ate Shenda Rachata, great master Bhamal Matara. They actualize the realization, fulfill the goal. And ever since, Buddhism is very rooted by the power and the courage and the commitment of Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal, and then spread it as grass fires everywhere, every corner, every valley, every mountain is filled with practitioners. And by the request of the great Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal and to Pema Sambhava and Pema Sambhava, hidden so many teachings and so many treasure objects to restore the earth energy, the energy of the world, and keep the energy and the environment perfect. Both all different reasons, really hidden so many Dharma teaching and so many ritual objects, blessed articles throughout with the assistance of the great wisdom like Yishim Soja as well as those great masters. So that is what really continued. And then also those teachings, I'm just talking that, very reminding to all of us that we have to grateful and thankful is part of the practice. If we really keep that part of the attitude, definitely we will get good accomplishment, good result by practice. So being grateful, be thankful, and to all these lineage masters, lineage practitioners. As I said, lineage masters, lineage practitioners, can we think always a kind of big ones? Yes, they are big ones, are so important. But there is so many others that maybe don't have the names. They didn't use the name. But everyone kept lineages. We think for all the lineages. That way, also then we all are lineage holders. You are lineage holders. Without you, I'm not going to talk what I'm talking here or reminded to us. Really, that. And because of you, also I had the opportunity to talk this. So we all, and not just the talking, if we keep that practice in the heart and mind, that is called holding the lineage. You're holding the lineage of the scriptural meaning and practices. That's what all this lineage masters want, all the Buddhas want, all the Bodhisattvas want. And we do. We're making very happy all these guys and girls. Really. But delighted. You're making delighted Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, lineage master, Guru Pema, Samba, Buddha Shakyamuni, Tara, and all this. Really, we're making that. We back that. So this is what the teaching is. Among those teachings that great master who predicted, then this is the one of the hair. And is already here. Here, mainly teaching was the emanation of the Buddha Shakyam, Buddha Vajrayana, mainly teaching. This great master, Terda Lungpa, or Gyurme Dorje, or mainly teaching was the emanation of the Buddha Vajrayana, and also his emanation was a previous emanation, or previous reincarnation is then Ananda, Buddha's personal disciples. Ananda is not just a personal attendant disciple, but also Ananda is region of the Buddha Shakyamuni. When Buddha entered his Mahaparinirvana, he appointed Mahakashyapa as his regent. And also Buddha told to Kashyapa, now you will be my regent, keep the teaching and the practice exactly as said. When you are ready to enter the Mahaparinirvana, you hand it over Ananda. So this Buddha also appointed in a way indirectly Ananda as his regent, but Mahakashyapa appointed him. So Ananda was very famous, great master, great scholars, and great arahatas. And then after that, there's so many kind of emanations took places. But in Tibet, when Buddhism coming in the 8th century, that time, then Ananda was emanated as Vajrayana, the great translator. Tibetan translator, one of the 25 disciples, one of the 9 heart-like students, one of the first tested, fully ordained monks in Tibet. Because the Khenpo they like to establish the fully ordained system, Vinaya system, very much. But then the great masters, many are kind of hesitated whether Tibetans are able to maintain the Vinaya teaching and not. So they decided to do the first small group. And in the teaching said 7 test group. So one of that is Vajrayana. So he's the first ordained monks by the great master Chandarachada. And then he was a great translator. He went to India and he received so many teachings from Garab Dorje as well as Shri Singham. Shri Singham on the Western body as a living body, received all teachings. particularly he received the teaching, more teachings about in the Dzogchen teaching. In the Dzogchen teaching, often maybe whenever you heard and whenever you know that there is 3 divisions of the Dzogchen teachings. And those are known as mind sections of the Dzogchen teaching, space sections of the Dzogchen teaching, and the pit instruction sections of the Dzogchen teachings. Among those 3, the first 2 really brought to Tibet by great this translator, master, Vajrayana. So Vajrayana is considered as one of the founders of the Dzogchen teachings in Tibet. And who both pit instructions teachings of Dzogchen to Tibet by Guru Pema Sambhava, great master, Bhamal Mataras. So the Vajrayana standing with these 2 great masters, Bhamal Matara and Guru Pema Sambhava. And then Vajrayana emanated so many great Erdons after one after another. Among that, one of the famous one is Rinpoche Terda Lumpa, who came 1646, and born in the central Tibet. He was one of the great, really, masters, scholars, and so correct all the teachings he preserved. He and his younger brother, known as Dharma Chiri, I put here too, put his name. And they both preserve the teachings, authentic teaching, the Nyingma, particularly Kama, and all Dharma teachings. And then also they kind of the system of the ritual ceremonies, chanting ritual and sculptures of Dharma, all so perfect and beautiful exemplatories in the Nyingma schools of Tibetan Buddhism. Every Nyingma monasteries, they said, if you follow the Mendo-like system of the ritual ceremony and ritual implement and ritual kind of also sculptures, then it's perfect. Also, it's simpler but beautiful, completely as authentic. Everyone really considers that. So they are really very, very famous. And his younger brother, Lochi Dharma Khere, the Dharma Khere, also like 1654. 54 he was born. He was also renowned as an emanation of the one of the 25 disciples of Guru Pema Sambhava, known as Yodha Nyingpo, one of the great Dzogchen masters. And also Yodha Nyingpo was a disciple of Guru Pema Sambhava, Bhamal Matara, particularly disciple of the Vajrayana himself. And he was born, Yodha Nyingpo, born in the eastern Tibet, far eastern Tibet. Vajrayana went to there. There he met his connected disciples, Yodha Nyingpo. So he's very famous scholars, masters, translators, Yodha Nyingpo. And then he was emanated as Lochi Dharma Khere. And Mendo Tevda Lumka was Ngakwa practitioner, lay practitioner. He is married. He has children. But Lochi Dharma Khere is the then fully ordained monks. As encouragement of the 5th Dalai Lama, he took the ordination of the Vinayas according to the lineage of the Shandarakshata system, the ordinations. So Lochi Dharma Khere become one of the principal lineage holder or transmuting lineage of the Vinaya as great master Shandarakshata started. He's very famous scholars. So these 3 masters are considered the beacon of the Nyingma schools of Tibetan Buddhism. Around this time, Nyingma lineage is kind of little weak in the teaching set, little weak. And also there's so many other Tibetan great lineages, masters, schools are kind of like bustling, and that the ancient school of the mother school become little dimmed, kind of little low that. But these two great masters really highlighted, re-strengthened, reactivated. They made such a big effort to receive all the lineage teaching. Even if some lineages are kept by the very ordinary person, there are no names, they made effort to connect with those individuals and receive the teaching and rekindle this teaching. So this is the very kind of history and a kind of thankful and gratitude of these great two masters. And then continued this until now. So among that teaching, again, this is the Dorje Jamdu. This Dorje Jamdu or the Vajra knot, often said, is very popular. And now when you're thinking of these practices, has like what's called, when we think practices, first with what called, when you receive the practices, and then when you receive the teachings, and then when you start practices, often we heard, and often in the teaching said, we always combine practices with the three nobilities: beginning noble, middle noble, and concluding nobles. Or sometimes I translate it, beginning excellent, in the middle excellent, and concluding excellence. Those are three. If we have those three frames, all our practice comes perfect and beautiful. So now, this time, we are going to a little bit highly emphasize of this, particularly of this concluding aspects. We do the beginning of this what? Beginning good is the intention. With the intention start with the bodhicitta and joy and appreciation. And at that bodhicitta and taking refuge. And with the devotions. So those are roughly kind of principal aspect of the beginning excellent. Middle excellent is the practice itself. In Vajrayana teaching, often those practices are connected with the two stages. The stage of creation stage of the visualizations and the completion stages of the dissolving stages. Those are the two stages practice. And the concluding stages excellent is what? With the good heart, with performing the aspirations and dedicate the merits. And we do these three, every practices. In the teaching said that practice is completed, not kind of missed something. Really completed. So among this time, this Dorje Jamdu, the teaching is a little more focused of the last excellence, dedication and aspirations. And now the aspiration, we heard quite a few times the dedications, but aspiration is so important, really essential. Great Master Asanga, one of the great masters in the Buddhist historians, Asanga, and in Tibet is called Thomi, and his younger brother known as Basu Bendu. I'm sure many of you know and many of you heard. These two are so famous. This great master Asanga said, all the various bodhicitta activities is absolutely based upon the aspirations. All the bodhicitta activities. So this aspiration is really the foundation of the to fulfill our goals. You're making, or we're making our wish powers. Wish, power of the wish, what we want, what we like to. And all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, reach enlightenment because of the power of their wishes, the aspirations. For example, you heard, also we joined, Bodhisattvas, great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni made 500 aspirations. That means 500 great wishes to fulfill the goal of the bodhicitta. What is bodhicitta? Of course, you all know. Bodhicitta is absolutely based upon compassion. For that reason, great master Kamalashala, who was disciple of the great master Chandarakita, he takes the quotation from the Buddha Shakyamuni in his famous second meditation teachings. Meditation teaching, first meditation teaching, second meditation teaching, third meditation teaching. Those are in the Tibet, it's translated Gomram Tangpo, Gomram Nipa, Gomram Sumpa. In the second Gomram, all the instructions on the meditation stages. And there he said, I don't know how to explain the meditation. He said, he himself humbled, even though he is one of the great scholars, great masters. The humbleness is considering bodhisattvas, humble and simple. And I don't know how to explain that, but I follow the light of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni said in teaching known as the or the teaching of the Vajrayana, they said, if you like to practice this, that practice must be rooted on the compassion and based upon the bodhicitta, applying the skillful means. So, what this means? The compassion is, maybe I'm not translating quite good. Compassion is cause. Compassion is cause, bodhicitta is root, and skillful means are fertilizer. Fertilizer or irrigation, or taking care of that. So that means. So this bodhicitta is based upon compassion. Compassion for all living beings. And there is a different kind of compassion. The compassion for all the living beings. Compassion for the nature of all the living beings. Or the kind of immediate nature of the living beings. All these phenomena existence. Compassion for the nature as it is. Those are roughly I've translated. Compassion for the compassion that focuses on the sentient beings, compassion that focuses to the quality of this phenomena in the beings, and the compassion that has no focus. That maybe I translated more clearly. Compassion for the sentient beings, all living beings are struggling, as we say. So many things. Even they have everything, but still is struggling. So thinking about every living being, really feel sincerely compassion how to remove all the troubles, kind of wishing that thought strongly, and that is called compassion focused to the living being. Then compassion to the nature of the phenomena. What that means? Every living being, every phenomena existing is not permanent. We all, what the great master Chandrakirti used examples. Every living being, every phenomena is like moon that is reflecting in the water, and the water is shaking. Water is shaking. So that means the moon is shaking. Like is shaking, the moon is shaking. Same way, we all living beings, including all these phenomena, never stay one moment. It's moving, it's changing. But yet, sentient beings, living beings, don't recognize. They kind of holding onto, thinking it's forever, in a way. So therefore, feel compassion. All beings no one is realizing where the nature is. How pathetic. How it's really kind of feel compassion. Therefore need compassion to their feeling level, compassion to their natural level. Then you look to that, where their compassion is. As in the Dzogchen teaching often said, when you look at that, even though compassion is so special, so important, where is that compassion? If you look, search, there is no answer. Speechless. It's beyond our conceptions. That is nature of the compassion. Nature of compassion is the great openness, emptiness. Discovering that nature, relax in that status. So that is compassion. From that great compassion of the thinking, reflecting the compassion to all beings, reflecting of the nature of the all beings, then we generate the bodhicitta. Generate bodhicitta, and bodhicitta is then become the root of the enlightenment, root of the accomplishment. So we develop the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta. And then, again, then you know, what is that irrigation and support to bodhicitta? Skillful means what did that gracious teacher Buddha said, that this Kamala Shala told quotation. That skillful means all 6 paramatas. How nourished, how to bring growth of the bodhicitta with the 6 paramatas. Gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni lay out so perfectly all the 6 paramatas, all 6 paramatas. And what first is generosity paramata. Then morality paramata. Patient paramata, of course, we know. Most people, we all know. We heard the names, we know. And then joyful effort paramatas. Joyful effort for the virtuous paramatas. And then paramata of the, I say the patient. Third is the patient paramatas. Fourth is the joyful effort for the virtuous paramata. And fifth is concentration paramata. And fifth is wisdom paramata. Wisdom paramata is divided into furthermore. It kind of extended a little more. Those are known as, I think many of you know, the paramata of the skillful means. Tabji paradasamba. And then, so that is 7th. 8th is paramata of the aspirations. And 9th is the paramata of the power and the abilities. And 10th is the paramata of the primordial wisdoms. Those are 4 additional paramata is added or division of the wisdom paramata. Those the great master says. So, in this time, what we are going to talk, these aspirations with the Dzogchen meditation. Now, with the Dzogchen meditation. Now, if we go here, it's in page 1, still we're talking on the page 1. We talk briefly about the history of this. His story is often said in the teaching. In the teaching, it says it is important. We're going to thank for all the lineage masters. Particularly, we are going to thankful, grateful to great master Terda Lungpa, his younger brothers. Those are many times in it, two brothers of the Minling lineages. Not just the two brothers of Minling, they are so important entirely Nyingma schools of Tibetan Buddhism. So thankful, to grateful. And now we go to this. This has two sections as this great master Mewach. Sona Chundam, I said, disciple of the Pato Rinpoche, Maha Rinpoche, and he divided into two sections. First is the introduction, and the second is the principle of this. Introduction, so division of the text are introduction, and which is the general meaning, and the specific meanings. And the general meaning is in Tibetan called, in the Tibetan teaching mentioned, in the text mentioned Chidung. Chidung is the general. General means the general importance of the aspiration and the dedications, explaining. And then second is the specific meaning of the Dorje Jamdi. So, Dorje Jamdi. Now also this is why it's so important again. When we're thinking of the Dzogchen teaching, Dzogchen practice teachings are divided into three groups. Those are the ground Dzogchen, path Dzogchen, and the result Dzogchen, or achievement Dzogchen. So ground Dzogchen. What is ground Dzogchen? Ground Dzogchen is the origin and nature, undefined defilement, free from any obscurations, and pristine as it is. And the great master Lungchiba said, the origin ground is pristine, open as a sky, full of brilliant brightness of the sun and the starlight, fully. That is origin and nature. And particularly in the Dzogchen teaching, more focus to the inwardly. So that means our nature, your nature of the mind is the ground Dzogchen. My nature of the mind is the ground nature, ground Dzogchen. Sometimes translated ground, sometimes translated foundations, sometimes translated as a base. But why is it a ground? It is ground of everything. What is everything? Ground of samsara, ground of nirvana, ground of the path to the nirvana. Everything according to Buddhism, and as well as Dzogchen, start from the nature. So that nature is the ground. Why is it say the base? Because it's the base of samsara, again, same thing. Base of nirvana, base of the path to nirvana. Then, path to nirvana, what is this? All 5 paths are based on this. 10 bhumis are based upon that. So this is base. This is the ground. It's the foundation. How is that foundation? And as I said, the great Master Lungchiba said, it's clear, pristine as a sky with the sun, brilliant light of the sun and the moon and the stars. That is really the ground is like that, pure. And what the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni said in the called teaching, as Master said before too, in the Lanka Avatar Sutra, very famous sutra, said, pure
pristine, and the luminosity, and ordinary nature, and undefeatable, unshakable, and uncompounded. That is ordinary nature. It's explanations of all our, if I point out that as the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni and the lineage master did, is our mind, our nature of the mind. All that explanation, not just only that, all the Panchaparamita teachings to explore this nature. 100,000 strands of the teaching of the Panchaparamita is all to explore this nature, this ground. And then also begin of the Heart Sutta, which are inconceivable, inexpressible, and Panchaparamita, unborn, unceasing, pristine, and the nature like the sky. I mean, you know, we do that practices. It is mother of the Buddha, mother of the all the Buddhas of 3 times. Who is that? That mother is our nature of the mind, your nature of the mind. That is called ground. Is ground of all. Samsara come from this, nirvana come from this. So now we discover that nature. Once we discover that nature, we understood that nature, then what we have to do? We have to apply the application, path Dzogchen. Path Dzogchen. What that means, path Dzogchen? To discover that ground nature exactly as it is, we apply the technique that taught by the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, Guru Pema Sambhava, all the great, those lineage, great master practitioners, as taught, following that is like following the path. Why they also named as the Buddha, gracious teacher Buddha named, path means you're going to develop. It's stage by stage going. And there is actually, if you ask, if there is a stage extended kind of like staircase, or ladders, there is none of that exists. It's just metaphors. Because the individual practitioners will see the difference of the achievement and the fulfillment and the progresses. Therefore, to make sure they are not hesitated, skeptical, doubt, kind of pulled back to the samsara, then the gracious teacher, Buddha, perfectly put, if you reach this stage by practice and meditation, follow that path, you will feel like that. You will see like this. This is all inner realization. There's nothing outside you can tell. If you continue to keep that practice, then you reach second stages. Third stages. That is it. And is what the great master it's like sky. Nature is like sky. We cannot divide it. But where you develop, where you are advanced, lifting up yourself from the ground and going up there, the individual person will see. Therefore, self-discrimination, pristine awareness, recognized. You discover that each time. That is. So, this is the following the path. Following the path. And the path has, then we discuss those great masters, practitioners, beginner excellent,
middle excellent, and concluding excellent. Those are really we following the path, practice. So now if we talk here, so particularly here in said, and if we go about this, it is essential to know principal activity of the path in meditation of bodhisattvas, who are the region of the Buddhas. Bodhisattvas are all known as region of the Buddha and lineage holder of the Buddhas. And this bodhisattva is not just only the male, also female. Therefore, bodhisattva is also known, lineage holders are known as noble son and noble daughters. Why they are nobles? Because they are upholding the lineage of the Buddha. What is the lineage of the Buddha? Compassion. Bodhicitta. 6 paramatas. And defeating negative emotions. Clear away the negative emotion. Those are known as lineage of the Buddha. Remove. There is nothing particularly who uphold, who had a little bit more understanding to defeat one's own negativity, discover one's own love and kindness and compassion, unshakable, undefeatable that, and with some openness heart, they are nobles. They are noble son. They are noble daughter, whoever did that, whether male and female. They are noble son and noble daughter. Therefore, what in the teaching said, also bodhisattvas, what is it? And they are the holder of the lineage. Bodhisattvas are the healer of lineage. And they are also continuing taking care of all living beings as great teacher Buddha and Gyurme Samba did, according to their past capabilities. And then also upholding the teaching. Therefore, all the bodhisattvas, all the practitioners, lineage holders are the region of the Buddha, region of the Gyurme Samba. And when they do the region of practices, the holding of the lineage thing, then what we do? We do 3 things. There's 3 things, principal activities of the bodhisattvas or practitioners. And I put, there's like the Tibetan word, Dzogchen, Jang Sum. So Dzog means Jang. Dzog means what? Accomplishing the merit. Merit is a completing. Trying to completing the merit. Min means what? Maturing. Maturing one's own mind and help to mature the other beings. And the Jang means what? Purifications. Purifying the defilement, negativities of one's own self as well as other beings, as well as purifying the universe or the world. Translate here, world. What that means? The Pure Land, in the Buddha's teaching, Buddha's Pure Land, what we call Pure Land. Why they call it Pure Land? It is pure, there is no defilements. It's really pure, such as Amitabha's Pure Land, or Amoga Siddhas, Rena Sambhavas, and Amoga Siddhas, or Vajrayana, their Pure Land in the teaching said is pure. Why is pure? There's not that Pure Land is not reflected by the emotions, negative emotions. It is reflected by the primordial wisdoms, wisdom and compassion. All higher wisdoms is emanated. This samsara where we are now is reflected from the emotions. Therefore, it is known as what? We heard so many times, degenerations. Degeneration is what? What is degeneration? Degeneration, in the great teacher Buddha's teaching, said the 5 degenerations.
degeneration of the living beings, degeneration of the lifespans, degeneration of the emotions, degeneration of the times, degenerations of the way attitude of thinkings. All is low. Particularly that degeneration of the ideas. This time, in the samsara or in the world, there's so many kind of ideas. People make this, that things, and then it will make rumbling. Beings. It's called the degeneration of the ideas, or degeneration way of thinkings. So many thinkings. And when that happens, people themselves think, doing good. But reality is hurting themselves according to teaching. And according to teaching, it hurting environment. And what gracious teacher, great master Guru Pema said, people say, time is changing, all this is not good time. But time is not changing. Time is the same. Summer, spring, autumn, winter, morning, afternoon, evening, daylight, night time, nothing changed. What is changing? Mentality is changing. And then people say, instead of thinking themselves, they say, oh, time is changing. This and all that. Really, they say. And then when that happens, so many days, turbulence, all that comes. Then in the teaching, it reflected to the external environment. Then earth is become unbalanced. Fire is become unbalanced. Wind is become unbalanced. Water is become unbalanced. Then consequently for all the beings who are dependent upon those elements. And therefore, generating the kindness, the compassion, love and compassion is also one of the great ways to contribute to the environment. Really, thinking of aspiration, prayer, and all that is great tool to bring the harmony, peaceful environment, and the good things to the world. So there's a prayer, and then the purity of the Amitabha, for example, is so perfect. In the teaching, it said, 100, I think I can't really put a number, 100,000 of the hundreds of thousands of the millions of pure land of the Buddha fired in one single state as one pure land. What is that? Pure land of Amitabha. So many pure lands, hundreds of, millions and millions of thousands, millions. Sanji Sevatra Jatung said in the teaching said that that's a very famous prayer composed by great master Raga Aksa Karma Chami in his teaching said that's what the Buddha, great teacher Buddha said in Amitabha Sutra. Amitabha Sutra said that. Is that pure land? How that come? Because of aspiration prayers. Because Amitabha had a wish power. He made so many aspirations with accumulation, marriage, chori practice before Amitabha became as Amitabha Buddha. Really, therefore, he fulfilled all that, and then he is the one of the best destinations to go as retirement places, according to the teaching. First, really in the teaching said it's one of the best, easiest way to approach to the pure land of Amitabha is one of the best. Best, easy, because why is best? Other pure lands, to like the Akshobhya pure land, Vajrayana pure land, and Renasamba pure land, and Vajrayana pure land, and Amoghasiddha pure land,
It's very beautiful, pure. But in order to reach that pure land, individually have to get realization of the past bhumi. But to get to pure land of Amitabha, you don't have to get past bhumi. When we put the motivation, intention, aspiration, perform the accumulation, merit our best capabilities, and wishing that me and all the beings be reborn when time comes. In the teaching it said, really, you go there. So it's there. And there, then great, so many masters and Buddha, gracious teacher Buddha said too, there even you can then perform all your 6 paramata accumulation, the 10 bhumi practices, and become enlightenment there, and then benefit for all living beings. So those are the teaching said. So there, that pure land that why come is because the power of the aspirations of the Buddha Amitabhas. And then you also heard the story whenever you know, and the great master, Master Guru Pema Sambhava, and the great master Shantarakshita, and Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche, and they came to Tibet. They all come together and established the Buddha teaching there. And why that happened? In the teaching said, because of their aspirations. And that's connected with the very famous stupa in Nepal. In modern time, now they call the Bodhanath stupas. In Tibet, it's called the Charong Kashor. Charong Kashor was that stupa, famous stupa, was built by the 3 brothers, or 4 brothers. 4 brothers, and those are to the honor and the dedication of their mothers. And they completed the stupa, what they made aspirations. May that one older brother made aspirations, may I able to bring the Buddha teaching. There is no Buddha teachings. And so, one elder brother, who was that elder brother? Is the Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche was. And the second brother said, if you like to do that, may I become the teacher who helped to fulfill and bring the Buddha teaching. Second brother. And that was Shantarakshita. And the younger brother made aspirations. When you both making those aspirations, may there's obstacles, hindrance comes, may I able to dispel all the obstacles, all hindrances. And who was that? Guru Pema Sambhava. And then, fourth brother said, when you all had that aspirations, I'm sure there is many need assistance, help and support, back and forth, all that. May I become that one of the big communicators in the like. May I become the PR office. May I become the PR office of you. And that is Yalong Bame Tribal, one of those. So those are really, because of that aspiration in the teaching said, then they all come together. And great master Shantarakshita, when Shantarakshita and first Khenpo Tsewang, when they met together, Shantarakshita hold the hand of the Tsewang Dongyal. He said, do you remember? Do you remember? Or do you remember? Do you remember me? Do you remember me? And Tsewang Dongyal said, because of my weak meditation, I don't remember you. You remember it. Then Shantarakshita told the story too. But it's a very famous story. Really, that also happened because of aspirations. And the Buddha Shakyamuni become it is said, praised as a white lotus. Whoever hears his names will not return to the samsara. The most gracious teacher, Buddha Hypomage, was because of aspirations. Buddha with all the 6 paramata practices accumulated. That's really how it is. So aspiration, putting in the wish powers to every time we do those good activities, meritory activities, really putting that is so powerful, so special. Therefore, in the teaching, it said, if you put that, will fulfill your wishes. Because power of the mind is so strong. Actually, everything is created by mind in Buddhism. When you put that good wishes to fulfill that goal, we are opening new chapters, new doors, new fulfillment everywhere. And all wishes are fulfilled, really. And the blessings of the Buddhas and all the lineage masters. So that is really teachings, and that's my talk for today. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for participating. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, said thank you. We should do again 2 minutes meditation, and then we do the dedication in this booklet we have. Yeah, thank you. Now with the short dedication, I believe this booklet, which are in this. Page 16, according to this. Om Swasti Sevang Rigdzin
Donye Dupe La San Norden La
Shido Koro Samye Mayote
Sanche Natam
Chole Namja Sho.
By this merit may all obtain omniscience, defeat the enemy wrongdoing, from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara may I free all beings. May the sole source of benefit and happiness, the Buddhist teachings, remain for a long time. And may the victory banner of the lives of the noble ones, the holders of the teachings, remain firm. May all temples and monasteries, all the teachings and recitations of Dharma flourish. May the sun always be in harmony, and may our aspirations be achieved. May all beings always be joyful. May all births into the lower realms cease forever. May the wishes of all the bodhisattvas and all the bhumis swiftly reach fruition. At this very moment, for the peoples and nations of the earth, may not even the names disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard, and rather may pure conduct, merit, wealth, and prosperity increase, and may supreme good fortune and well-being always arise. The precious bodhicitta, and those without it, may it be generated, and those who have it, may it never diminish, and always continue increasing. May the great tradition of Khenpo Shantarakshita, Lopon Padma Sambhava, and Dharma King Trisen Detsen increase and spread throughout the three-realm world. May the appearance of the three jewels and the mind streams of beings remain inseparable and bring sublime well-being throughout the three times. Deity, mantra, and dharmakaya are the nature of appearance, sound, and awareness, the pervasive kaya and wisdom display of the Buddhas. May practitioners of the profound and secret great perfection remain inseparable from the innermost one taste awareness of wisdom mind.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, everyone participate. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, again, for participating. Takshidele, past weekends, today, I think, we announced it already, but today is a very special day also. Really, today we kind of kept this, we going to celebrate of the Mahaparinirvana of the great master in the region of the Gyurme Sambhava, Dudjom Rinpoche today. This today is according to Western calendars. And there's two calendars we follow. Sometimes it's like lunar calendar as Tibetan, and then Western calendar. So we thought maybe this time kind of auspicious to start our retreat with the celebration of his own Dudjom Rinpoche. So today is that. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Again, Takshidele is best. Thank you. Okay, thank you.